First, though, as the Duchess of Sussex continues to dominate the news following her bombshell interview this week, we're asking if America is falling out of love with Meghan. It follows headlines like this, which made the front page of the New York Post. Ross King is live in LA. Good morning, Ross. Have you noticed a shift, Ross? What is the public's response to Meghan?
Well, it's not working. A new poll conducted by Newsweek shows that her popularity is down 8 points from June. She's underwater in her net approval rating. 33% of people reported their dislike for her. 31% said she was okay to them. I guess the rest don't have an.
January 2026, mid-afternoon, Los Angeles International Airport. The kind of day where the sun is too bright, the air is too dry, and every celebrity flying out of LAX secretly hopes they won't get spotted on someone's TikTok live. But that's wishful thinking, because you know how LA works. Cameras don't sleep. And there she is, Meghan Markle, Duchess of Sussex. Sunglasses big enough to double as emotional barriers. Entourage trailing behind like a synchronized swimming team without the pool. Classic entrance. Confident, composed, untouchable. The soft-spoken airport worker checking IDs, probably wondering whether to treat her like royalty or like every other stressed traveler who forgot 3 ounces means 3 ounces, not the entire Sephora catalog. Except today, something's off. Not in an OMG paparazzi chaos way, in a airport staff are suddenly talking to each other quietly way. That's the kind of energy that makes your stomach flip, even if you didn't do anything wrong. And Meghan, she senses it. You can tell. Her body language shifts. Subtle. Barely there, but enough. Her bags, 7 of them, all matching, all expensive enough that reselling one could probably pay rent in London for 6 months, glide through the scanner. But instead of passing through like normal luggage, the operator leans in, pauses, squints, calls another officer over. You don't call another officer over for shirts and dry shampoo. You do that when something in those scans looks weird, dense, uniform, too organized, like a geometry lesson disguised as luggage. Secondary screening, the phrase everyone dreads. Meghan steps aside. Security escorts the suitcases toward the inspection table. And let me tell you, if you've never had TSA unzip your bag in front of strangers, thank your ancestors. It's humbling. Socks you didn't know you owned come out. Night creams you'd hidden from your own reflection end up on display. Meghan isn't showing underwear and makeup, though. She's showing something else entirely. Stacks. Not clothes, not shoes, not cosmetics. Money. Cold. Physical. Cash. Bundles of bills wrapped in those tidy little bank bands you only ever see in movies, crime documentaries, and apparently Meghan Markle's luggage. Hundreds, 50s, 20s, layered, neat, uniform. Not a mess, not tossed in. Packed with precision, like someone spent hours making sure every suitcase was weighted evenly. 7 bags, all cash, no outfits, no jewelry cases, just paper wealth. Millions, not thousands, not girls' trip shopping budget. Millions. The kind of money that gets attention from the Treasury Department, not the tax accountant. Now, pause. Look, I know what you're thinking. Who travels internationally with suitcases full of cash? Exactly. It's 2026. Wire transfers exist. Banks exist. Even crypto exists for the drama queens who like their illegal transactions with a sprinkle of tech evangelism. Also, extremely quick reality check for the curious. Traveling with money isn't illegal. That's the part people get wrong. The issue isn't possession, it's declaration. Over $10,000 crossing borders, you declare it, you explain it, you show paperwork. Meghan, according to sources, had none. Zero documentation. No origin story, no business income, no brand expenses, no real estate down payment, just vibes and cash. Now here's where it becomes cinematic. TSA cameras catch everything. Everything. These are not paparazzi iPhone clips with shaky zoom. This is federal footage. Crisp, wide angle,
time-stamped, and allegedly multiple agencies already have copies: Treasury, Customs and Border Protection, Homeland Security, and depending how spicy this gets, maybe FBI financial crimes. If this leaks, oh my God. Federal scandal meets celebrity gossip meets royal soap opera. That's popcorn territory. That's turn-on comment notifications territory. Speaking of comments, if you're still watching this disaster unfold, go ahead and drop a popcorn or something, because this story does not slow down from here. And hey, while you're at it, subscribe, like, do the YouTube things. You know the algorithm demands sacrifices. Back to the airport. The moment those suitcases open, Meghan's whole aura allegedly collapses. The confident Hollywood Duchess becomes someone trying to explain why she's traveling internationally with what looks like the set dressing for Breaking Bad Season 6. Her team starts making calls. Maybe lawyers, probably publicists, people who exist for crisis management, definitely. The explanations allegedly thrown out to TSA sound like improv night at a failing comedy club. Business expenses, personal funds, wine brand investments, real estate, philanthropy. But here's the problem. Real estate deals don't happen with duffel bags of 20s. Philanthropy doesn't get financed like an armored truck heist. And no legitimate business expense in the US is paid in untraceable bundles of cash, unless you're buying a shady nightclub in Miami. Now, let's widen the lens for a second. This didn't happen in a vacuum. The timing is suspect, because right before this LAX incident, Meghan and Harry were on that Nigeria trip that made the tabloids explode for a week. Partly because it looked like a royal tour cosplay, and partly because people noticed the private jet wasn't paid for by the Sussexes. It was provided by Alan Onyema, and that name is where this story grows tentacles. Onyema isn't just some generous millionaire with a hobby. The man is wanted for the US for allegedly moving over $20 million through American banks using layering schemes, one step below money laundering on the federal drama scale. That's not a conspiracy theory, that's documented. And Meghan and Harry accepted free luxury flights from him, treated like royalty, full VIP, no disclaimers, no caution. Now, weeks later, Meghan allegedly shows up at LAX with suitcases full of cash that nobody can explain. I don't throw around words like pattern lightly, but even Sherlock Holmes would be lighting a cigarette at this point. And listen, Nigerians watching this know exactly how sketchy money movement across borders can get. British viewers know how the royals freak out at even the whiff of scandal. Americans know the feds do not play when it comes to financial crimes. International viewers know cash equals secrecy. Royal watchers know Meghan has enemies waiting to pounce. This story hits every audience like a different flavor of chaos. And before anyone says it, no, this does not mean Meghan is the mastermind behind an international laundering empire. Calm down, breathe. But also, if you're wealthy, famous, and perfectly capable of using private bankers, accountants, lawyers, wire transfers, investment firms, and actual financial infrastructure, yet you choose duffel bags of cash, it raises questions. Questions investigators absolutely love. Now, here's where the script takes a darker tone. Sources say this wasn't the first incident, not necessarily cash every time, but enough weird luggage moments that TSA supposedly has a file. Let me repeat that slowly. A file in the US on Meghan for travel anomalies. If that's true, we're not talking rumor mill. We're talking repeat behavior that federal agencies actually track. And to the people who always ask, why would TSA care? Because border crossings matter. You know who else gets flagged? Drug traffickers, art smugglers, sanction evaders, crypto cowboys with duffel bags, wealthy weirdos buying property in cash because they don't want banks to ask questions. And before the Meghan fans start typing essays, I'm not comparing her to any of those groups. I'm saying that from a federal perspective, unexplained cash movement looks the same regardless of who's holding it. Now, let's pause for a viewer check-in, because this story is messy. It's confusing. It feels like celeb gossip until you realize we are now in Treasury Department cares territory. If you're sticking with me, hit the like button. Seriously, this story's more tangled than royal family Christmas dinner seating charts. Moving on. The footage allegedly contains audio. That's what makes it federal dynamite. You can deny a rumor. You can spin a headline. You cannot spin filmed government documentation where agents ask, "What is the origin of this money?" and the answer is awkward silence or improvisation. Audio makes intent real. Audio makes prosecutors salivate. Ask any defense lawyer. Video is bad, audio is worse. And now the big question. Did the agencies decide to escalate? Rumor is yes. Customs notified Treasury. Treasury flagged Homeland. Homeland flagged FBI financial crimes. When multiple agencies see the same person showing up in overlapping suspicious contexts, they compare notes. Meghan allegedly becomes a person of interest, not because she's royal adjacent, but because patterns matter more than status. And what does Meghan's team do? They go radio silent. No denial, no angry lawyers, no PR statement calling it defamatory. Nothing. Meghan has sued tabloids over less than this. Silence here feels strategic. Silence means wait and see if it leaks. Silence means don't lie in public if federal documents might say otherwise later. Meanwhile, Netflix is watching. Spotify is watching. Corporate brand partners are watching. The royal family is absolutely watching, probably with popcorn. William's probably texting Charles like, "You seeing this?" while Kate's drinking tea in the corner whispering, "I told you so," to no one in particular. And Harry, poor Harry, because if this becomes a criminal case, immigration consequences get spicy. His visa depends partly on his spouse's legal status. America doesn't deport over gossip, but federal crimes, that's a different game. Now, here's the ending nobody wants to talk about. If the footage leaks, and the internet always finds a way, Meghan's entire California brand implodes, not because of